Hello, my name is Monica, and I said I was going to start a channel helping people to try to get into the airline industry, as well as give advice and tips and just handy dandy indications of surviving as a flight attendant. This will be my first year, so I'm gonna pretty much display my journey and what I've learned over the course of my first year. This first video is the how to survive the application process, as well as making it through the interview process as well, because it can get a little discouraging waiting to hear back from an airline to see if you're going to move forward or what's going on. Please excuse my lighting. I'm actually on a trip now in my hotel room. So here we go. The first question I always get is, where did I go to find out what airlines was hiring? The website I went to was flightattendantcareer.com, and I will list the link down in the information box. It has the whole entire list of not only major national and international, it has international companies as airlines as well, and it literally gives you a direct link to their application. If they are hiring, it lets you know when they are hiring, if they're having an open, which is an open call, which is pretty much where they have people come in and bring their resumes and this, that, and the other. Pretty much like a career fair for a job as a flight attendant. They have that in the dates and what you would need to do to be invited to do that. After you do that, you just select, which airlines you'd like to apply for. It takes you directly to that application. You start the application process. My biggest recommendation for your application process is, before you even start, to write down your 7-year history of addresses and work history, because they do request it, and it is very, very big on their background checks. The FAA requires it, as well as the company. So it doesn't really matter if you were fired or quit a job. They just need to know if you're going to be open and honest, and to have a detailed history of what's going on, and then you can just move forward from there. That would be the easiest thing, because you don't want to be sitting at the computer for hours trying to figure out where you lived in 2009 or what was your apartment number. It's just what makes it a lot simpler, so you don't have to worry about it timing out, or you refreshing it and it completely booting you out and you have to start completely over. The second process is usually either a phone interview or a video interview. The video interview is just pretty much a webcam interview. There's no one on the other end. It's just a recording, like the phone interview, except you are recording a visual image of yourself so they can see what you look like. My suggestion for the phone and video interview is to go somewhere nice and quiet, and make sure, like, if you have children, I'm a single mom, so I made sure my son was in bed sleep, and I went in my bathroom and hid and did my video and my phone interviews. I made sure I was in a nice clean area. I properly dressed for an interview, as if I was sitting in front of someone, from the neck to my waist. I did my hair and my makeup very professionally, as if somebody was right there on the other end looking directly at me. Take your time whenever they give you that moment to go over how you want to answer your question. Use it, and use it wisely, because you don't want to be like or I think, because they pay attention to that. They're trying to see if you're able to interact off the fly, because as a flight attendant, we do a lot of interacting off the fly. They have to answer a lot of questions off the fly, like, where's baggage claim? And knowing you haven't even been to this airport, you have to, like, well, unfortunately, I don't know where baggage claim is in this airport, but we can see if the gate agent will give us that information whenever we land. Just rather quickly, so that way you can get on to the next passenger and move forward. That would be my best suggestion for that. I end up doing 2 face-to-face interviews. One was more like a cattle call where it was a group interview, and there was never really any face-to-face time, and we never really discussed ourselves or our ambitions. And then one, it was they pretty much wanted to know who we were, and then we did a group interaction, and then our personalized interviews. With your face-to-face interview, when you make it to that, because I'm not saying if, I'm saying when you make it to that portion, my suggestions to you are go as professionally as possible. If you have to travel, I suggest you not travel in your interview clothes. I had a 2.5 hour flight from home to where I interviewed, and I folded up my suit nice and neat and put it in a rollerboard and took it with me with my makeup bag, a toothbrush, and my hair splice. And I pretty much had 2 hours before the first shuttle came to get me, so I refreshed in the airport, which is my best suggestion to you because you don't want to go wrinkled. Also, I took an extra pair of nylons because whenever I was doing my reach test, I tore my pantyhose, and I don't feel like it's so unprofessional to walk around with a big run in your house. What I wore to my interview, ladies, I wore a two-piece suit, and it was black. It was a skirt. It came down to my knee. I wore cocoa-colored nylons, and then the ones that I tore were my black sheer ones. Wear nylons that are seasonal appropriate. It looks better. Do not wear thick tights. Thick tights, there's a difference. There's a difference between your normal pantyhose, and there's a difference between thick tights. They prefer us not to wear tights, and I would suggest you do the same for the interview, so that way they know that you have taken the time to research what you need to do as a future flight attendant. I wore my hair up in a bun. At the crown of my hair was a nice braided twisted bun. My hair was back off my face, no bangs, no swoop, no nothing, just completely off my face. I did a light neutral makeup look with a pink lip, and then I wore diamond studs like I have in now for my interview. I also had my nails done in white French tips. Red, pink, very neutral, professional looking colors are the best recommendation. And then I also wore a white button-up shirt. So, and then my shoes, I wore a black matte leather shoe that was no more than 2 inches tall. As flight attendants cannot wear heels more than 2 inches tall, so I tried to look as much like a flight attendant already going into the interview. Gentlemen, what I suggest you do is wear a pantsuit with either in navy or black with a nice button-up shirt and a either navy or black simple patterned. Don't wear your off the fly ties. Simple pattern tie or a solid tie would be nice, and then just a nice clean button-up shirt. And then black dress shoes, black nice dress shoes. Do not wear sports socks. I don't know why, but if you have them on, I don't know, they magically can see them. So wear your nice dress socks. Just look as much like a male flight attendant as you can as possible. After I did that, it was pretty much surviving the interview with 225 people, and I was chosen out of 225 people. Only 25 of us were chosen. My one big recommendation for you is to have your passport whenever you go to your interview. Yes, the application may say you don't need your passport until training, but with my airline and the other airline that I did interview for, it was required for my face-to-face interview. So save yourself $325, which I had to sacrifice to have my passport expedited because it expired before the parameter. Normally they do not like to, if your passport expires within 6 months, they ask that you renew it before your interview. And so save yourself some coins and make sure your passport is up to code, and if you don't have one, go ahead and start the process the 8 weeks before so you can get it on time. just go in being yourself, be very professional, be very personable, not only with the people interviewing you. There is no such thing as brown nosing in our industry, because you never work with the same flight attendant on your next scheduled day. The only time I've never worked with the same crew twice. So getting out there and meeting all the flight attendants that will be there interviewing you, as well as meeting the people who are actually being interviewed. You never know, the person sitting next to you may be in training with you, and that's what happened with me. And me and him are very, very close. We went through our interview process together, and we survived training together, and now we work together. So those are just my tips. It is very, very late. It is actually like 4 in the morning here. So I just wanted to get this uploaded. My next video will be about surviving training. It's going to be a very generic video about how to survive training. I'm not going to give any details on my training, but I'm going to give details on how to survive training with coupons for your food, how to survive missing your family, your children, how study tips, and anything that I can give of how to survive your training. Thank you for watching, and welcome to my channel. Thanks. Bye.